Okay, folks, quick update on the Massey 245. You can see I got the decals on. Couldn't find a replacement grill, so I made do with what I had. If you remember, it had that nasty old expanded metal on there where I ended up going with a little bit smaller expanded metal, knocked all the dents and divots and stuff I could out of it. So that's just going to have to do for now. Okay, what I'm working on now, as you can see back in there, see that hole in the block? Well, that actually had a really old, nasty block heater in it. That leaked just a little bit. And judging by the fact this thing appears to be solid brass, I do, even the screws brass, I do believe it was probably the original 1982 when they built this thing. So I got to go to the auto parts store, pick new one of those up, because I didn't get the cord with that one anyway, so there ain't no way I'm going to put that one back in. Okay, and what else we got going on here is I'd mentioned in one of my earlier videos that the ball joint was shot right here on the steer arm. Well, I was able to, you can see it's moving now. We still got the nut on the bottom. I got that broke loose. It's already off on this end, and all I got to do now, move my light here, is take these two hydraulic lines off, take the cylinder down, because these are tapered. That's what keeps them in place. Well, they tried to look it up on the computer in their books for a replacement one of these, but every time they looked it up, some of these tractors, in fact most of them, came with the steer cylinder was in there behind the fan. There was a few of these that had them externally. I happen to have one of the ones that are external, so he couldn't really reference it, even though I had the actual VIN number and serial number and everything else. He couldn't reference it, so I'm going to have to actually take it down. The other thing I got going on, it's just kind of wet there around the exhaust. Well, I'm going to take off this Orchard exhaust, because you can see how low it is to the ground back there. It's almost right on the ground. Well, where I'm going to be using this in kind of a high fire area, what I'm going to do is up here in the front of the exhaust manifold is a block. It's blocked off. Some of these things came with a turbo, and I could add a turbo on there, but I don't really have need for one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the exhaust off there, take that plate off there, put the plate there, and then I got a buddy that owns a muffler shop, and for 20 bucks, I don't know if it's going to work or not. I'll have to take it back and do it, but what I did is I had him bend me up a couple of 90s. And until I actually take that block off, I'm not going to be sure exactly what I need. But just for a starter, I just had him bend this up, and I figure I'll take that block off. But what I want to do is I want to come up with exhaust out the top, out the front. Now, on checking on YouTube, I've seen where a lot of these things actually had a hole up here in the hood, and the fuel tank stops about right here, and then the radiator fan shroud starts about right here, and just, big nasty hole right up in the middle. I think for now what I'm going to do is switch those, like I said, and I'll use somewhere within these three a brace and run my stack right up the side with a heat shield that should help protect the paint. I don't know if when I get a loader if that's going to interfere with it, but since I don't have a loader yet, I'm not going to worry too much about it at this point in time. I just, for mowing up there at the property, I just want to get the exhaust off the ground, because along about July and August it gets pretty darn dry up there. So anyway, just a quick update. Thanks.